Welcome to Carter's Retro Reviews. Today we're going to be reviewing Guardian Force for the Sega Saturn. Now, I've done a few reviews already this year, and I've been getting the same question from a number of people, my brother, a couple of friends, and that is, do the glasses I wear in the Don Pachi review come in a men's? You guys, you think you're so funny. But no, they don't. So if you have any more questions, leave them in the comments down below and I will tackle them in a future review. But for now, here is the review for Guardian Force. Guardian Force is two things. The first thing is a good shoot 'em up with a confusing release schedule. It was supposed to be released as an exclusive to the Saturn by Success in early 1998, only to be pulled and then released in May 1998 on the Sega Titan video. Then was re-announced for Saturn release in August of 1998. By this time, as you can imagine, the Saturn was indeed in its final stages of what popularity it had left. Success had developed the Cotton series as well as a neat little puzzle game known as Hiberica's Popoito. The second thing this game is a slightly underwhelming shooter. Now I need to stipulate that this is not a bad shooter by any stretch of the imagination, but of all the shoot 'em ups that I've done on this channel, this is perhaps one of my least favourites. This is not a reflection on the game, but rather a reflection on the quality of the shoot 'em ups the Saturn has available to it. If you gave me the opportunity to play this game again, I would choose this title over many others in the Saturn library, but not one I would actively seek. Okay, sure, they're nearly all deathly expensive, but the quality is legendary. To have a game score 7 out of 10 and be one of the weakest in the genre is really a testament to the Saturn. If you have a bottomless wallet and no reservations in spending ludicrous amounts of money per game with a penchant for shoot 'em ups, I have something you might be interested in. Let's look at this game in detail. From a purely visual stance, this game touches on a very neat gimmick, one that I've yet to see in any other shoot 'em up on the Saturn like this, and that is having it be both vertical and horizontal in the same game. And they made it work pretty seamlessly, so I have to give them kudos for that. It's a shame they didn't do more with this, because it really does feel underdeveloped. Menu presentation is fine, but in-game seems to be a little barren. You could still have the same amount of information on screen and make it seem far more exciting and involving. After playing Don Pachi recently, I could only conclude that it stuck to the template, and because of that, it represented the best in the genre. But this game does the same, and it seems a lot less and lackluster. None of the in-game presentation feels like the design was fleshed out, like more could be done with it, with the exceptions of the explosions and the look of the weapons, which all look nice. Graphics of the game are perfectly fine for what they are. The colours work well, even though it feels like they tend to be comprised of pinks and purples more than any other colour. There's no glitching, detail seems to be above average with animation that looks really good. For a time I did think I was being rather hard on some games in terms of their graphics, but when there's games like this to keep them in check, I feel like my opinions on graphics are justified. Even the music of the game sounds like a dwarf version of what could be an amazing soundtrack. It's catchy for sure, and it is good, but it's not great, and that represents a lot of this game. Sound effects are great, but the soundtrack are these MIDI tunes that never really quite reach the manic levels of urgency coupled with shoot 'em ups to really push the gameplay into the stratosphere. I don't even have a particular issue with MIDIs, as one of my favourite shoot 'em ups of all time, Tyrion, uses them in an effective manner. I just feel the songs needed more punch. Gameplay is excellent and where the game really shines. First, it's not a jet fighter, but a tank. I thought that on its own would be a limiting feature, but they pushed those limits by making the ground endless and making the tank a lot easier to move. Also, moving around the screen is encouraged, making movement feel far more interesting. Your tank also has 3 different weapons, a main turret, a basic cannon which can be upgraded using magical crystals. The main turret is on auto-fire, which some people don't like, but there was so much else going on to control that it didn't really bother me. You can also control the main turret's orientation. The best way to score well in this game is through the usual killing everything on screen without missing anything, but also collecting these bad shields that have numbers on them. The higher the number, the more each is worth, and if you miss one, the number resets back to 1. The level design is quite strong, with enemies that mean more than just shoot till dead due to the effective use of movement. There is plenty of replayability in 2-player, but the other thing of note is that there's 2 separate endings to the game, and the good ending involves killing the boss in 30 seconds, which I have yet to do. Would I recommend this game? Absolutely. I can sit here and nitpick the imperfections and still maintain this is one of the weakest shoot 'em ups I've played on the Saturn so far. That might change in time, but this game has some of the most unique and strong gameplay that is also very, very fun. And there's plenty here to love.